The series begins with a girl named Xiao who is heading to the airport, running very late for her flight. As soon as her friend sees her, she scolds her for being late and tells her that her flight has already taken off. Xiao rushes to the check-in counter and asks if there are any tickets left. The staff member informs her that there's only one ticket left, to Vancouver, but unfortunately it's in business class. Despite how expensive it is, Xiao decides to take it. Her friend thinks she's crazy for doing so. At the same time, the commentator Sky is welcoming the audience to the 2008 International In-Quarter match. Shortly after, Xiao arrives in Vancouver and calls her friend to say she can't find a taxi. Her friend warns her that their boss is really upset and that she better not mess up this time during the live broadcast. Eventually, Xiao finds a taxi and ends the call to get in. However, she crashes into the car and realizes it's her boyfriend's. She asks the driver to take her to Rogers Arena. On the way, she suddenly asks him to stop, gets out of the car, and continues running to her destination. Meanwhile, the team arrives and is super excited. They meet the opposing team called Titan, whose nickname is the Dark Horse. The other team is called the Legends. Then the captain of the Legends, Shang Kong, addresses the audience and praises the strength of the Dark Horse team, saying they'll do their best. The Dark Horse captain responds arrogantly, saying they'll win as usual. The match begins, and Xiao arrives late, as always, to start broadcasting the match between the Legends and the Dark Horse. The Dark Horse team wins first place. After the match, Xiao's friend scolds her for missing the first round. Xiao explains that her boss wanted her to meet Joe, a player, and she plans to act like a fan to get closer and do a report on him. Later, we see Joe in the bathroom remembering what the reporters said, that he has an injury that might end his career. He snaps out of his thoughts when his teammate Xiang talks to him, telling him he's pushing himself too hard. Joe responds by asking him to go to the court since the rest of the team is waiting. Later, we see some players from the team talking about Joe and how his trembling hand is worrying them. They're afraid they might lose the match, although they feel slightly reassured because the game plan might change. At that moment, Captain Xiang arrives and hears what they're saying. He interrupts and tells them that Joe is their best player, and he refuses to consider replacing him. He explains that Joe has many fans waiting to see him, and if they switch him out, the fans might think he's a coward. One of the players responds bluntly, saying that this is the World Championship and it's not the captain's job to think about fan service. He adds that he doesn't know how many fans want to see Jeffrey and Joe together. He implies that changing the strategy might actually be better for the team. Another player replies saying that if Joe fails, it could cause major problems for the entire team. Xiang disagrees with them and says that even if they lose the match, he believes that decision is better for their team and their captain. A bit later, the match begins, and we see Xiao recording and announcing that the second round is about to start and that the Legends lost the first round. The commentator adds that although the Legends lost the first round, they've now secured the champion rabbit, which Jeffrey loves. Then the team members talk strategy, and they say that Joe will play as creator, a very difficult mid-level champion in the game, Van Coker. At the same time, members of the Dark Horse team discuss how Jeffrey will be the Worm King, and Mickey will play as the Dictator. The round begins, and Xiao continues broadcasting, noting that Xiang, the captain of the Legends, is using deception to mislead his opponent from the Dark Horse team. As both teams start playing, the match becomes intense. Jeffrey and Joe keep playing, and Joe kills enemies with a triple strike. The crowd cheers enthusiastically for the Legends team, and Xiao says on the broadcast that she believes the Legends will win. We then see Joe continuing to play with full focus. However, Joe's hand is still trembling, and he tries to keep going no matter what. Suddenly, Jeffrey is eliminated, while the crowd continues to cheer and the match goes on. Jeffrey eventually returns to the battlefield, but the Legends team is in a bad position after a powerful attack from the Dark Horse team. Their chances of winning are now very slim. Shortly after, the Dark Horse team wins the match. We see Xiao commenting that the Legends fought bravely and their performance is something to be proud of, even though they lost to a strong team. The Legends team leaves the stage and Joe breaks down in tears, blaming himself for the loss. A bit later, we see Xiao talking to her boss, who tells her she must interview Joe. She replies that the team just lost, and that now is not the right time to approach him or ask about his retirement. She ends the call. Next, we see the Legends team walking out clearly upset, while the audience, though saddened, continues to cheer and support them despite their loss. The team gets into the car and Joe speaks, saying that their fans still cheer for them even though they lost, and that they must have the courage to keep going and win the next championship. Then, Xiao appears, watching Joe interacting kindly with his fans. She notes how sweet he is with them. Joe gets into the car, and suddenly Xiao falls in front of it. Joe quickly gets out and asks her if she's okay. He offers to help her, and she tells him that she's there to meet Joe and asks if he's a friend of his. When she confirms that he really is Joe's friend, she asks him to take her to meet him. G, Joe's friend, agrees, though he suspects she's being a bit sneaky. They ride together in the car, and G asks her if she's cold. He accuses her of lying, then asks about her leg. Xiao pretends and says it still hurts a little but is getting better, and she thanks him for agreeing to help her meet Joe. Ji then asks her if she's a fan of Joe. Xiao says she really loves Joe. To test if she's telling the truth, Ji starts asking her personal questions about Joe, like the year he won the championship. Ji keeps asking Xiao several questions to test whether she's lying. Xiao says she forgot the answers and asks him to add her on Snapchat. Ji then asks if he's ever seen her before, and Xiao replies no, insisting that this is their first time meeting. She shows Ji some photos she took of him during the match, and Ji asks her to send them to him. But just as she does, Ji seems surprised by something in the team's car and decides to get out. Meanwhile, Xiao goes into a restaurant, looking around for Joe. She asks about him but can't find him. She calls her friend and complains that someone tricked her by giving her the wrong location. Later, we see Ji meeting Joe and sitting with their friends. Then the manager arrives, questioning what they're doing there. He reminds them they should be focused on how to win the championship, not just settling for second place. At the same time, Xiao is on the phone with her friend, saying she's finally found where Joe is. Her friend urges her not to waste this chance again and reminds her of how much effort she put in to get here. Xiao then stands at a distance and starts live streaming Ji and Joe as they talk about the match and their defeat. Joe blames himself for the loss, but Ji tells him it's the team's responsibility as a whole. Then we see Xiao's friend entering the manager's office while he's watching the live stream. Suddenly, the connection cuts out, and the manager tells Xiao's friend to call her. He then angrily speaks with Xiao, reminding her that he asked her to interview Joe, and she still hasn't done it. Xiao promises she will do it after talking to him. Suddenly, a man tries to touch Xiao inappropriately, but Ji steps in and protects her. Xiao lies and says she's Ji's friend, so he'll help her. Afterwards, Xiao speaks to Ji and asks him to have lunch with her as a thank you. Ji refuses and tells her to leave, accusing her of just looking for Joe. Xiao tries to catch up with him and admits she was lying, saying she did it because of her job. She asks Ji to help her. She meets Joe and writes her number on a piece of paper for him to call her and help her. Then, a team car arrives, and Joe gets in the car. He checks on Joe and later finds a necklace, remembering that it's Xia's. We see a place filled with boats, and her friend calls Xia asking if she had met with Joe. Xia responds, telling her that Joe is very sick and sad, and she is on her way to do a live broadcast for Joe's fans and to interview him. However, Xia reacts to the fact that the event was canceled. Her friend calls her and asks what happened, and Xia tells her that the event was canceled and the fans are leaving because Joe's health is not good. Next, we see Xia opening the live broadcast and dancing, while Joe's friends are sitting and watching the broadcast. Joe enters the room, throws the paper with Xia's number, and then the manager of Xia arrives and asks her to upload the video she recorded of Joe and Joe. Afterward, Joe remembers his girlfriend. That night, we see Xia sitting alone and getting a call from her friend, who says the broadcast was great and got a lot of views. At the same time, Joe is shocked when he watches the video that was recorded of them and realizes that Xia lied to him to record the video without him knowing. So, Joe takes the paper with Xia's number and sends her a message, telling her that her necklace is with him. The next morning, Xia goes to the hotel and asks about Joe's room. The receptionist tells her that he left the hotel a quarter of an hour ago. Xiao asks if he left anything for her, but the receptionist says no and suggests she look for him in the parking lot. Xiao says she wants her necklace. They then meet with the Black Horse team, who criticize and mock them because of their loss. They get into an argument, and we see Xiao recording the fight between the two teams. Their leader arrives and tells them to get into the car. Later, one of the employees named Shen meets with the manager, who talks to her about Xia's achievement. He tells her that Xiao sent the video of the team fight, which got a lot of views, and he's proud of her. After that, we see the team in the car, finding out that someone recorded the fight, and it went viral online. Finally, we see Xiao meeting her friend. Then, the team members get out of the car and enter a place, each heading to their room. After that, Xiao arrives and meets her colleagues at work, who are happy with what she has done. The manager is pleased with her work and tells her that he wants to talk to her. She asks him if the video she recorded will cause problems for the company. He reassures her and says that the video was genuine and not fake. Later, the manager of the Legends team calls him and asks about the girl who recorded the video of the fight between the teams, threatening to call a lawyer because of the video they posted. The manager tells her that they won't accept to do an interview with them. Xiao then remembers that she should contact Ji and Zhou to apologize to them. However, the manager says he will handle the issue. She later meets her friend, who asks her what happened. Xiao is upset and says she will have to pay a huge compensation because of the video she filmed. Then Shen arrives and tells her that a video like the one she filmed will cause problems for the company because of her. After that, Ji's friend meets him and asks about Zhou. They admit they made a mistake when they tried to replace Zhou in the match. Then we see Xiao eating with her friend, telling her that she was deeply affected when the Legends lost the match. She mentions seeing Ji there and realizing how important the match was for them. She talks about how each person has a dream they want to achieve and that her dream is to own a house, for which she is saving money. She says that this house is her mother's dream too, and she will continue to pursue it no matter what. Next, we see Xiao trying to call Ji to get her necklace back. In the morning, Ji wakes up, throws his friend off the bed, and tells him that he needs to go to his room right away. Xiao then goes to the hotel and asks about Ji's room. She sees a player from the Legends team, who smiles and points her to Ji's location. Ji then takes her to meet him. Afterward, Xiao goes to the place where Ji is training and is amazed by it. Ji asks her what she is doing there, and she gets nervous, asking him to put on his clothes before talking to her. Xiao tries to apologize to him for filming the video without his permission and asks for her necklace back. Ji's friend arrives and asks him to wear a pink suit. Ji then takes the necklace with him, but it gets accidentally cut. Later, Ji meets Xiao and thinks she purposely dropped her necklace in his car because she gave him her number as a sign that she liked him. Xiao tries to explain that he's thinking wrong and that the necklace fell from her unintentionally. She admits that she wrote her number on the paper and she takes the necklace back, but she finds it is broken. When Xiao sees the necklace is broken, Ji tells her that he's willing to pay any price she asks for. This upsets Xiao, as she thought he was a good person, and she throws the jacket at him before running away, crying. Later, she sees a picture of her late mother and starts crying. Ji thinks about Xia's words. At the same time, his friends come to him and tell him that the captain is going to retire. Ji talks to Zhou and asks him if he is really going to quit. Zhou responds, saying that this is the time he should retire. Ji tells him to reconsider his decision and continue with the team. Zhou takes off the necklace, gives it to Ji, and tells him, visibly emotional, that he had dreamed of winning the championship and asks Ji to be the new captain. He says Ji is the only hope for the team to win, convincing him not to reject the request. Ji wears the necklace and tells them he will try his best to win the championship. The whole team comes together, united, and they cheer the captain on to continue and win the championship. That night, we see Ji reminiscing about his meeting with Zhou. Later, Xiao is sitting and talking with her friend, telling her that she's really excited to do the live broadcast for the match. She says that she wishes she could be friends with Ji. Xiao leaves her friend feeling upset and expresses that Ji is not a good person, warning them that there are bad people everywhere. Afterward, we see the manager meeting with one of the team members, and they discuss the possibility of G becoming the new captain. Since G is the best player in the team, Joe talks to the manager and tries to convince him that G has strong abilities. Later, they decide that G will be the new captain to see how successful he can be. The next morning, Xiao goes to the manager, who warns her that the live broadcast might not be well received by people and gives her a month to improve, or else she will be fired. At night, Xiao is sitting with her friend in a restaurant. Her friend suggests that she talk to G to help her with the interview, but Xiao hesitates on whether or not to agree to this idea. After a while, the manager offers another famous player from outside the team to replace Joe as the captain now that Joe has left the team. The next morning, Xiao is walking and sees G. She thinks about talking to him and takes a picture. When G asks what she is doing there, she tells him that she needs his help to manage the broadcast. Afterward, Xiao starts to leave, but she almost bumps into someone. G tries to save her, and this brings G back to his memories. We see him with his girlfriend, and then he snaps out of his thoughts to find Xiao standing in front of him. Xia's friend then appears, and she goes for a job interview. She meets her new manager and learns about the nature of the job. Xiao calls her and asks about the interview. Her friend then asks her about her meeting with G, and Xiao tells her that G agreed to do the interview with her. Later, we find Joe sitting with his friend and asking about the manager's opinion on appointing G as the captain. His friend replies that the manager is considering another strong player instead of G. That night, Xiao is sitting at home with her friend. She goes live on her broadcast and talks to the people, teasing them about who the important person will be in the interview. The next morning, the manager is sitting with Xiao and her colleague Shen. Shen mocks her, saying that if Xiao doesn't improve her broadcast, she could be fired from her job. Afterward, the manager meets with the team and prepares them for the practice match. Later, we see Xiao sitting at home with her friend and waiting for G to join her and Shen in the game. G starts playing, but Xiao isn't very good at it and loses. Shen is put in the game instead. After a while, G's friend arrives and tells him something important about the division the manager decided. Then, they meet with the manager, and Joe signs the decision to retire from playing. Suddenly, G stops him and tells him not to sign it. They decide to exclude G completely from the electronic games. They challenge G to continue with the trial game and win the match. If he wins, he will become the captain, but if he loses, he will retire. G agrees to the challenge, and they decide to move forward with it. Later, Xiao talks to her friend and is very upset because G put her in an embarrassing position in front of the followers after he left the game. Afterward, G talks to Joe about his rash decision and the challenge in the trial game. At the same time, Xiao and her friend are upset with G, but G avoids them. His friend tries to stop them from following him, but her friend hits him, and Xiao runs to catch up with G before he leaves. She asks him why he closed the game and didn't continue playing with her. She expresses concern for him, throws the keys in the trash, but G gets angry with her. Xiao cries from his hurtful words, and he leaves. That night, Xiao meets with her friend and talks about what happened with G, explaining how upset she is. She leaves and walks away. A little later, G meets his friend at home and tries to convince him not to hurt Xiao because she is a successful girl. Then we see Xiao at home, reminiscing about her mother. She practices her exercises and encourages herself to continue. She tells herself that she is the most beautiful girl, but she also feels sad and starts crying. The next morning, the team members meet and write that the system and opponent have changed. They send it to the game. After that, the team members get ready to play, and the commentator greets the audience. The game begins between the Dragon team and the Legends team. The commentator asks the teams to get ready, and then Xia's friend talks to her new manager, John, and asks her to gather information from the employees and organize it. Later, Xiao sees the retirement announcement for Joe and grabs her bag before leaving. After a while, both teams begin the game with enthusiasm. The Legends team wins the first round against the Dragon team, and both teams take a break before the second round. G has a challenge with the captain of the Legends team, telling him that they will win the match. The second round begins with a big challenge, and they divide roles, joking around. The audience cheers for both teams. Later, the manager talks to Joe, telling him that Ji will be a successful captain for the team. After a while, the Legends team gets off the bus and sees a large crowd of fans. They head to the hotel to attend Joe's retirement party. Shia and her friend arrive at the same place and think about how they will get in since they don't have an invitation. They manage to sneak in through a different entrance. Then, the team heads to the hall where the party will be held. Ji goes to check out the restaurant, and soon after, Shia and her friend try to steal some costume clothes. They enter the restaurant, and while Shia's friend tries to steal the costumes, Shia tries to stop her. They manage to wear the costumes and enter the party. Shia's friend tries to take pictures of the team, and Shia talks about Ji becoming the captain. Later, Joe talks to the manager and the coach of the dragon team named Hyun about the game. Then, Ji talks with the members of the dragon team, and they motivate each other about who will win the match. After a while, Joe's friend, named John, greets the guests, and then Joe takes the stage. He talks about the time he spent with them, saying that Ji is the best person to be the captain. Later, Shia meets Ji and he asks her what she's doing there. She responds, saying she didn't take any photos. He tells her not to let him see her again. That night, Shia walks around with her friend, upset because the photos from the party were deleted. We then see Ji sitting with his friends, having lunch and celebrating Joe's retirement party. Afterward, Joe goes to pack his things and talks to Ji, visibly affected. He describes his feelings about everything happening. In the morning, Ji gathers the team to discuss their strategy for the upcoming match. Meanwhile, Shia is at home trying to practice video games. Later, John, Ji's assistant, talks to the manager saying that Ji has refused to practice during his free time. At the same time, Ji enters and they find out he tried calling John but didn't get a response. The manager tells Ji to continue with his training. Shia then tries to continue playing but struggles, thinking about the manager's words to her, warning her that she will be fired if she doesn't record the live stream. The next morning, Shia goes to the place where she will be training and meets Shen, the manager. Shen tells her that Ji will be her trainer. She's surprised and says that she didn't know Ji would be training her. After a while, they enter a place and start practicing together. When Ji picks her to play, Shia gets upset. Then they sit at their respective devices and start playing against each other. Shia talks to Ji and asks him to help her, and they manage to beat the team they're playing against. Later, Shia calls her friend and tells her that she won the match. Then, Ji meets Joe, one of the rival team members, and is determined to defeat him in the match. Afterward, Shia runs to thank Ji for helping her win the match. She invites him for lunch, and Ji thinks Shia isn't a good person. They have a fight, and she leaves in anger. That night, Shia is at home alone, feeling sad, and looks at a picture of her mother, telling her that she will do everything right to succeed. Later, John talks to a new player named Joe, asking him about joining the team to replace Joe since he retired from the Legends team. Joe responds, saying that he wants to be the captain instead of Ji. After a while, John speaks to the manager, informing him that Joe will sign the contract with them on the condition that he becomes the captain. The manager replies, saying that if Ji succeeds in the trial match, he will be the captain. John responds, saying that Joe is a very strong player. Later that night, Joe walks and reflects on his conversation with his coach. Shia tells Ji that he needs to join the Legends team because it's a strong team and he'll be able to win the championship with them. After a while, Shia is at home when the doorbell rings, and it's her friend from work, who's upset because of her boyfriend. Shia tries to comfort her, and then goes to prepare food for them. However, she tricks her friend, and tries to steal data from a flash drive onto her laptop. The next morning, Shia meets her friend's manager at work, who asks her about the information she was supposed to get. She tells him that she tried but failed. Later, Shia calls her friend and asks her to open the latest news about Ji. She tells her that she hasn't posted anything about Ji and that the video isn't real. After a while, Shen meets with the manager and talks about the video of Ji, which has gotten many views. Shen admits that she stole the video from Shia. Then John enters and meets with the manager, Ji, and his friend. John says that Shia is responsible for posting the video and asks Ji if he has any proof of this. The manager listens and asks Ji if he knows Shia. John then says that Ji plays with girls' emotions. to which Ji responds that Xia was with him in the trial match. Ji requests to bring in a lawyer to prove that the video is fake. Later, the team members meet and ask about Ji's relationship with Xia. One of them goes to ask Xia's friend about the video and accuses her and Xia of posting it to get revenge on Ji. Xia defends herself and says that Xia didn't post the video and that it is fake, and that she is the best girl in the world. The next morning, Xia meets with her manager, who tells her that the lawyer has filed a lawsuit against her and has evidence proving that she posted the video. Xia asks for more time to prove her innocence and asks if she will be fired because of this issue. The manager replies that if there is no proof she is innocent, she will be fired. Xia gets upset and leaves. That night, Ji goes to meet his friend in the training room, and they practice together. The next morning, the manager meets with Luan and the president. Then, Joe enters and asks about his relationship with Xia. Joe tells them that there is no relationship between him and Xia, and asks for a chance to resolve the issue. He promises to contact Jeffrey to clarify the misunderstanding and explain that Ji didn't hit him and that the video is fake. They find out that Jeffrey will arrive in 2 days. The next morning, Xia sits with her friend, feeling sad, and talks about what happened to her. Her friend tries to comfort her. After that, Xia goes to meet with the lawyer, who tells her there is no evidence to prove her innocence, and that she will have to pay a large compensation. The only way to solve the problem is for her to find Ji, the team captain. Later, Xia meets her brother, whose name is also Xia, and she's surprised to see him. He asks her about the issue with the video and expresses concern for her, saying that both he and their father are worried about her. He asks her to return home with him, but she refuses, asking him to leave. She then closes the door and goes inside. Her brother Xia thinks about how he can help his sister. Their father enters and asks why he's upset. Xia tells him about the problem with Xia, saying she's been fired from her job and asking for help. Their father reminds him that Xia decided years ago to distance herself from them. The next morning, Xia is at home when the doorbell rings. When she opens it, she is surprised to see her father and brother standing there. She asks why they came, and her father tells her he's just trying to make sure she's okay. He offers to help her resolve the issue, but Xia refuses. She tells him he never asked about her mother when she was in the hospital, and that he cared for another woman instead. Xia starts crying and lifts something to throw at her father. After a moment, Xia meets with her friend Jin, who asks if she has found any proof of her innocence. She tells him she was fired from her job because of the issue. Later, Ji meets with Jin, and they discuss how to solve the problem. Ji learns that the manager, Jian, is trying to prevent him from meeting with Jeffrey. That night, Xia talks to her friend. Xia tells her friend that she is planning to sell her house. Her friend is shocked because the house was her dream, but Xia insists on selling it. The next morning they meet, and Xia asks her friend to attend her meeting with Jeffrey so she can apologize to him. Meanwhile, the assistant informs Ji that he has a practice match, trying to stop him from meeting with Jeffrey. Later, Xia goes to the parking lot and finds Ji's motorcycle. She runs into the manager, Jian, and asks about the lawsuit that was filed against her. That night, Xia is in the car with Jian, explaining that she will try to resolve the issue and clear her name, saying that the video is fake. However, Jian tries to make a move on her, and Ji arrives just in time to intervene. They fight, and Ji runs after Xia to check on her. Xia is crying, and Ji tries to catch up with her. She enters a supermarket and starts drinking alcohol. Ji follows her and tries to calm her down, but Xia tells him that she has lost her job and her house because of him. That night, Ji helps Xia, carrying her and driving her home. She falls asleep on his shoulder from exhaustion. The next morning, she wakes up in an unfamiliar bed and tries to recall what happened. She notices Ji's friend and Ji sleeping on the couch. She asks what happened, and her friend explains that she was drunk. Xia apologizes to Ji for the trouble and thanks him for his help. Ji asks her to get ready because they need to meet with the lawyer. After a while, they meet with the lawyer to discuss the compensation Xia has to pay, which amounts to $1 million. Xia's lawyer tries to reduce the amount, but Ji decides to waive the compensation entirely. Later, Xia and her friend thank Ji, and he leaves. Xia asks her friend what happened with her, and they head to a market to buy some food. Xia is grateful that Ji helped her, and refuse the compensation. Meanwhile, the manager Gion and the coach are having a heated discussion because Ji refused to accept the compensation from Xia. They discuss how to arrange a meeting with Jeffrey to resolve the issue of the video. The manager calls Ji to inquire about Jeffrey, and soon after they meet. Ji is talking to him and asking him to clarify to the people that the video is fake, but Jeffrey refuses to help him. He tells Ji that because of the video, he will be kicked out of the team. The next morning, Xia sits with her friend at home, eating and discussing the problem with the video. Her friend suggests that she meets a person who has a full video and evidence proving Gigi's innocence. Later, Xia decides to help Gigi and prove the video is fake. After a while, Xia goes to the airport to meet the person with the full video of the fight, but she waits there for a whole day. In the morning, Dion talks to his assistant, saying that he will be at a press conference. After a while, the conference starts, and John speaks. A reporter asks him about the reason for beating Jeffrey's son, and he makes light of what happened. They read Gigi out of the team, but Xia's friend presents a video proving Gigi's innocence, and it turns out Gigi is innocent. After that, Xia runs to catch up with the person who has the video. Then Gigi and his friends arrive and show a video of Jeffrey, which contains evidence of Gigi's innocence. Later, Xia's friend calls her and tells her that Gigi is proven innocent. Gigi meets Xia and thanks her for her help, but she tells him that Xia stayed at the airport all day to get the evidence and help him, and she asks him to stay away from her. At night, Xia sits with her friend and she receives a message from Gigi inviting her to dinner. She tells her friend that she will sleep, but then she dresses up and gets ready to meet Gigi. Her friend realizes that she is meeting Gigi and helps her choose her outfit. After a while, Gigi arrives, kisses Xia, and they enter the restaurant. Gigi thanks her for her help. Later, her friend and John, Gigi's friend, arrive at the same place and sit at a table near them to observe them. Xia tells Gigi that her necklace has been fixed, and he offers her a book to help her become a professional commentator. Later, we see Xia talking to her friend and telling her that she is thinking about working as a commentator for the match. The next morning, Xia's friend goes to work and meets the manager. After that, Xia goes to a training place. She enters the training room and starts imagining herself as a commentator for the match. Then a person enters the room and she runs out. After a while, she meets her friend and offers her a book to learn the basics of commentating on matches. Then, Gigi enters the room to see the manager and apologizes for what happened after he was kicked out of the team. Gigi also apologizes for his mistake. At night, Xia sits with her friend and says that she wants to enter the competition. She tries to play and train, then leaves her friend and goes to sleep. Later, Xia continues to play, and after a while she goes to the training place. The coach arrives and notices that she doesn't know how to play. He tells her to focus more and organize the questions she wants to ask. He gives her a lollipop shaped like a teddy bear, and then her friend calls her, and she goes to sleep. After a while, Xia meets the coach and watches him play and win. She encourages him and gives him a paper with all the questions she wants to ask. He tells her to focus on playing with him, and they start playing and winning. Then, she asks him how he moves his hands so quickly while playing, but he gets tired of her talking and gives her a lollipop and walks away. Later, Gigi meets his friends and the coach at the training place and they talk about his playing style. Then, their friend, named Jay, enters. A few hours ago, he remembered his meeting with John, where John offered him a 1-year contract and said he would be the captain if he won the match. They ask the coach if he's tired, and Gigi makes a joke and leaves. Afterward, Xia is sitting in the training room, eating, when Gigi arrives and asks her what she's doing. She tells him that she's here to learn to become a commentator and join the competition. Gigi takes her and leaves. They go for a walk, and Gigi gives Xia a flower from a man dressed as a rabbit. She laughs and tells him that the day is beautiful and asks him to go with her to the market. At night, Gigi drops her off at her house. She smiles and then enters the house where her friend is upset with her because she's trying to get closer to Gigi. She's worried about her because she thinks he's a fraud. The next morning, Xia meets Gigi at the training place. The coach arrives and asks about her relationship with Gigi. She tells him they are friends. After a while, Xia enters the hall and bumps into something. Soon the Legends team and the Dragon team arrive, and both teams prepare for the match. The match begins, and the Dragon team wins the first round. Gigi is not focused on the game. Then the team gathers, and Gigi, along with Jay, asks everyone to focus on the game and not worry about losing. Jian enters and asks Gigi what will happen if they lose the match. Gigi tells Jay to focus on the game. The match continues, and Xia's friend tells her that Gigi will leave the team if they lose, and that this is an important match for him. During the match, Gigi remembers John's words when he asked him if he would agree to become the captain instead of Gigi. Gigi refuses and says he cannot betray his friend. The game continues, and Jay calls for Gigi's focus, but the Legends team wins, and the Dragon team loses. After a while, the team members argue with Jay, blaming him for the loss, and saying that he's the reason Gigi will be kicked out of the team. Gigi apologizes for the loss, but it was because Jean had asked him to intentionally lose the match so that Gigi would be removed from the team. Later, John sits with the captain of the Dragon team and offers him the contract they agreed on. They sign it, and the captain becomes the new leader of the Legends team. At night, Gigi is upset about what happened and finds a message from Xia asking about him. After a while, Gigi sits with his friends and calls Jian, but John doesn't answer. Later, Gigi leaves, feeling frustrated, and goes to the manager's office. He is stopped by security, but eventually enters and apologizes to the manager for the team's loss. He argues with the coach, saying that he wasn't the reason the team lost. Gigi recalls his meeting with Jay and tries to apologize to him, because he is the reason for the team's loss, and after a while, he meets with the manager and the team and tells them that Ji is going to leave the team and retire. Jin runs and goes to meet Ji, and they argue. Jin tells Ji that they promised to win the championship together. Ji leaves upset, and then he sits alone in a place in the morning. Joe talks to Ji and says that he will help him sign with a team other than the Legends. After that, Xia hears that Ji is leaving the team and tries to call him, but he doesn't answer. Later, she meets the new captain, and there's some excitement between them. Then Xia is sitting, trying to talk to Ji, and asks him to meet. He agrees, and the next morning, Xia is sitting at a restaurant waiting for Ji. He arrives and talks to her. She asks if he's okay and tries to comfort him. After a while, they leave together. Ji goes with Xia to the training place, and he starts teaching her how to play and gets closer to her. She keeps looking at him and laughing. Ji continues Xia's training, and the new captain named Joey enters and offers them juice. He leaves and Xia continues playing and wins. Joey then comes back and offers them a small cake. He asks Ji why he is still around after leaving the team. That night, Xia walks with Ji and thanks him for agreeing to go out with her. She asks about the new team he will join, and he replies that he hasn't found a good team yet. Then he receives a call from a foreign team manager asking him to join them, but Ji refuses and hangs up. Xia asks him why he refused, and Ji tells her that some time ago he played with a foreign player who mocked the Chinese team, but Ji won the challenge. He tells her his goal is to become a professional player, and he promises her that he will win the championship for the Chinese national team. Xia dreams of seeing Ji with a trophy, having won the championship, but wakes up to find her friend next to her. After a while, Joey talks to his friends and accuses him of being a selfish player because he is leaving the team. The coach arrives and wishes him good luck. In the morning, the manager and Ji meet with the coach and Joey to discuss the training for the match. Later, Ji sits with the manager of a new team and he offers him a contract, but Ji refuses and leaves because he wants to be a perfect player. Then, the Legends team is sitting in the training room, continuing their training, and the manager arrives with the new coach. After a while, Xia sits at home, eating and watching the fan criticism of Ji. She thinks about helping him, so she takes a screenshot of the fans' comments about Ji. Her friend, who is tired from work, asks her to go with her to a job interview. At the same time, Xia and her friend come in and see Ji laughing with a girl. Xia gets upset and leaves. Her friend asks why she's upset, and Xia runs off. Later, the Dragon Team coach sits with her manager and the team's player, named Xiao, and they discuss him becoming the captain. The coach asks the manager to sign Ji and make him the captain, but he says that Xiao is better than Ji. She acknowledges his words but insists that they need to build a strong team that can win the championship. At night, Ji sits with Hyun and talks. Meanwhile, The Dragon team manager arrives and tells G that he cannot join them, as G's reputation will affect the team and its fans. G ignores what he said and walks away. The next morning, the manager meets with the coach and presents G's contract. However, the coach sees messages from G saying he won't join the team. She tries calling him, but he doesn't answer. She's surprised by his sudden refusal, but she learns from the manager that he had spoken with G. She's shocked and walks away. Xiao meets G and asks him to sign the contract, but he refuses. She tries to convince him to sign so the team can win the world championship. Eventually, G agrees to sign. Afterward, Xiao is in the training room, playing with someone and winning. Then a girl named Sujin arrives and challenges Xiao. They play together, and G shows up while Xiao is playing and wins. After a while, G talks to Xiao, and she tells him that she's now working officially. He invites her to lunch, and they go to a restaurant. She finds out from him that he signed a contract with the Dragon team. That night, Xiao tries to sleep but can't, because she's thinking about when she saw G with the girl, laughing together. Later, Xiao is with his friends, drinking and reading. He finds a notebook with Joey and asks him to leave it because it doesn't belong to him. Then, the Legends team is talking with Jin and Joey. Jin asks to take the notebook from G, as G forgot it in the room. The next morning, the Dragon team coach meets with G and the team, challenging Xiao and G to compete in a match to prove who deserves to be the captain. The match begins and Xiao, the current captain, loses and struggles. The coach, along with G and the manager, enters the room and says that G is more suitable to be the captain because he has better techniques. Xiao leaves and talks to his manager, asking him to reconsider and agree that G should be the captain, following G's techniques in the game. Later, Xiao meets his girlfriend and tells her that he doesn't want to continue playing because G will be the captain. She refuses and encourages him to keep playing. Afterward, Xiao meets Joey and asks to watch him play. Then Jin goes to see his friend Xiao and asks her to come with him to a restaurant for dinner. Later, Xiao serves coffee to the trainees, but they tease her. Joey arrives and asks them to leave the place. Then Xiao sits with her friend and is upset. Her friend asks her what happened, and Xiao explains that she works as a waitress to pay off the installments for her apartment. The next morning, G sits at a table while Xiao sits with his friends to eat. Xiao asks G not to talk to him. After a while, the coach arrives and asks to speak with G. They go for a walk and she asks him to help the team with new techniques for the match. Later, Sujin, who is Xiao's friend and Xia's friend from her previous job, meets Xiao and tries to upset her. She mentions that she used to be a broadcaster and asks why she works there, mocking her. Xiao replies that she works there to train to become a professional commentator. After a while, the commentator Sky arrives for the training session. Xiao attends and takes notes during the explanation. The coach asks them to ask any questions they have, and Sojin takes a picture with him and the others. Then, Xiao talks to Sky, asking him to give her a chance to train with him, and she apologizes for entering the training room without permission earlier. At night, Xiao sits with her friend and tells her about a test that can earn her 1,000 points if she answers correctly, which will result in a promotion at work. She answers all the questions correctly. The next morning, Xiao sits in a restaurant, and G sends her messages asking why she hasn't shared her troubles with him. She tells him she's busy. Meanwhile, G arrives and tells her that he isn't busy, and they have juice together. Xiao says she's a little scared about the upcoming competition. G gives her a gift, a face mask to take care of her skin, as he's been watching her. She thanks him and takes the gift. He tries to tell her the secrets of commentary for the match, since she's nervous about the competition. He's happy to see her on TV. At the same time, Xiao gets a call, and she finds out that her competition is about to begin. G walks her to the location. After she gets out of the car, he helps her fix her hair. She feels shy and they both walk away. Then Xiao Sujin meets Xiao and tells her to prepare for the competition against her. After a while, Jin is training and Joey enters, running on the treadmill, racing against him in speed. Joey asks Jin why he dislikes him, and Jin responds that he doesn't like him because he took G's place. At the same time, his friend enters and tells him that manager Ji Yan decided to remove G's things from their place. Jin runs and argues with the assistant manager, asking him to leave G's things where they are. He threatens to call the police, and Joey tries to stop him, but Jin refuses. He grabs his things and leaves. Later, Xia's friend goes to find Jin and finds him sitting, upset, with marks on his face from being hit. She smiles at him, and he tells her he had an argument with the manager. She asks him why he loves G in this way, and he explains that G saved him from embarrassment, stayed with him to work, and he considers him a brother. He looks at a picture of G and starts crying. They both drink alcohol and are not paying attention to each other. Xiao calls her friend, who is drunk, and asks her to send her the location of where she is. Xiao takes a taxi and arrives before G. He asks her what she's doing there, and she learns that he came to pick up Jin's friend. They talk about preparing for the competition, and G offers to help her if she needs anything. She recalls that G told her they were like siblings, so she tells him she's busy and doesn't need help. Later, Xiao is at home and sees the gift G gave her. She's happy and receives a message from G asking about her and her friend. She talks to her pet rabbit, saying that G loves her. The next morning, G meets with Gao and his friend at the restaurant. G tells him to improve his playing technique because people have started speaking badly about him. Training will begin at 10 a.m. Later, Joey and G meet, and Joey asks about the reason G left the team. G explains that the manager made an agreement with him to let the team lose in a practice match, which led to G's departure. They realize that he was the one meant to leave, but G decided to leave in his place. In the morning, the Dragon team meets with the manager and coach, and G assigns each of them their roles. During the match, G meets Joey and asks him to talk about Jin's argument with the manager. Joey tells him that Jin hit the assistant manager. G tells him to figure out a solution since he is the team leader. After that, Jin is at home with his friend Xiao, trying to contact the person who stole the video from Xia's computer. At the same time, he gets a phone call from Joey asking him to return to training. Later that night, G meets with the team in the training room. After that, Xiao sits with G in a restaurant and tells him that she was rejected in the competition. She thinks she chose the wrong profession, but G encourages her to continue training. She's upset, feeling like she can answer questions but can't become a professional commentator. The next morning, G plays basketball with a Dragon team player named Huang and asks him to play, but Huang says he doesn't know how to play basketball. G starts playing with him and tries to get him to agree to be the team's center player, utilizing his talent. Afterward, the manager talks to the coach and is upset because G is wasting time playing basketball. He thinks this game won't help him convince the team about the center role. However, the coach suggests that it might be a good way to rekindle G's passion for the game. Later, G meets with Jin and asks him why he isn't continuing training. He realizes that Jin isn't happy, and Jin tells him that he doesn't want to be with G because G was the reason he was removed from the team, and he doesn't want to continue playing. G tells him that the contract will end in 2 years, and he will lose a lot of money if he quits. Then, Xiao sits with her friend at home and tells her that she tried to record the video multiple times. Her friend tells her to try again and asks about her colleague, named Lojin, asking when she last saw her. Xiao tells her that she was at her house 2 months ago. After a while, Xiao goes out and it's raining heavily. She meets Kai, who takes the flash drive from her, which contains the video she recorded. At night, Xiao is at home feeling sick with a cold. Her friend asks her to drink some soup and then rest, but Xiao tells her she wants to know Sky's comment on her video. Xiao calls her friend and asks for Sky's opinion on the video, but he tells her that the flash drive isn't working. Xiao tells him that she will copy the video again and send it to him. The next morning, the coach talks to the team and asks if Xiao is okay. Xiao says he's fine, and the coach leaves. After a while, Xiao goes to meet with Sky and asks him to take the flash drive, but he refuses and leaves. Later, G is on the field when Xiao arrives, and they start playing basketball together. Afterward, they gather in the training room, and Xiao plays her video for Sky to watch. Everyone in the room applauds her, but Sky gives her some feedback on things she should say to become a professional commentator. Later, Gao meets with Sujin, who is upset, and asks her about the reason. She tells him that she's upset because of Xiao and that she needs to present a successful video to impress the manager. Afterward, Xia's friend is sitting with Lojin when Xiao enters the house crying. Lojin asks her about what happened, and Xiao tells her that she was forced to edit the video because of Sujin's threats. She apologizes to Lojin, who forgives her, saying she was a victim. Later, Xiao goes to meet Sujin and admits that she tricked Lojin and is the reason for all the problems that happened with her. At the same time, the manager arrives and overhears Xiao's words. She tells him that she doesn't plan to improve her career, but that everything is based on deceiving people to get what she wants. The manager offers her the chance to return to work, but she refuses. Afterward, Ji Yan meets with the Legends team and tells Ji that his performance on the field has become very weak and is tiring the others out. Jin enters and argues with Jun, accusing him of spreading the fake video. He argues with Ji and tells him that he's the reason the team lost and Ji was kicked out. He also says he has no proof against him. At the same time, the manager enters and meets with Ji Yan, telling him that he needs to build a great team and that money is not the goal. Later that night, Ji meets with the Legends team and they ask him to return as the team's captain. He tells them that the manager knows everything about Jun and has fired him, but Ji refuses to return and is focused on the competition. The whole team arrives and Jin argues with Ji Yan, criticizing him for being fired from his job, causing him to fall down the stairs. They laugh at him, so he gets up and tells them to go to the field to run for an hour. Later, Ji sits with Xiao at a restaurant and tells her about Ji Yan being fired. The waiter brings a cake but mentions that there is only one piece. Xiao argues and splits it in half. She asks him to eat, and later that night, Xiao is at home, sending messages to Ji, asking him to take her to a beautiful place the next day. He agrees. The next morning, they go to the beautiful location with many people around. Xiao asks Ji to take a photo of her, and they take a picture together. Then, they go to the amusement park. Xiao is scared, but Ji encourages her. Later, they sit at a restaurant, and Xiao is very happy. Ji tells her that he's happy too, and this is a special day for him. After a while, he brings her many balloons, and she's really excited. Afterward, Ji meets with Shi and asks him to train well and bring out his talent in the game. Then, the commentator Sky begins by welcoming the audience and the teams. The match is a competition between them, and the winning team will enter the final match. Later, the manager meets with the coach and the Dragon team, asking them to train properly because the match will take place the next day. The Dragon team starts playing against the rival team, but the rival team wins the first round. Afterward, Gao argues with Ji, accusing him of being the reason for their loss. The manager and the coach gather the team, and the coach asks Ji to change the strategy. Ji promises them that they will win in the second round. Sky then begins the second round by welcoming the audience. The Legends and Dragon teams enter the field, and the match begins with great enthusiasm. The Legends team wins the first round. Afterward, the team gathers with the coach, and Ji says there is still a chance to win in the second round. The second round begins with both teams showing a lot of energy, and the Dragon team wins the second round. The team gathers with the coach again, and she encourages them for the third and final round due to the tie. The third round begins, and the Dragon team wins. Afterward, journalists and fans gather around Ji and the Dragon team, asking them about the reason for their success. The team then gathers with the coach, who is very happy with the success they've achieved. Later, Xiao talks to Ji and congratulates him on the victory, asking to meet him in an hour. Meanwhile, Ji runs into his ex-girlfriend, Milan, who tells him that she's back. He goes to meet her, and they are surrounded by fans. Later, Xia is sitting in a restaurant waiting for Ji, but he is busy. He tells her that he has something important to deal with. Ji meets Milan and moves away from her as she asks him to rekindle their relationship. Her assistant arrives and tells her to leave because there are too many fans, and they might take pictures of her. Ji reflects on his memories with Milan as she bids him farewell, crying because she is leaving him. She asks him to follow his dreams and become a famous singer. Ji snaps out of his thoughts and tells her to leave, and she walks away. Later, Xia is still sitting in the restaurant waiting for Ji, but he is late. She calls him to ask why he is delayed, and he tells her he got caught up in something important. Xia is upset and tells him she's going home and will see him another time. Meanwhile, Milan talks to her assistant, who tells her to travel and return to work, but she refuses, still holding on to the past with Ji. The next morning, Joy meets with Xia, who is watching the recorded match between the teams. She's happy that Ji won the match, but she asks why Ji isn't training with the rest of the team. She's impressed by Ji's abilities. Later, she asks her manager for a 2-hour break from work. Afterward, she meets with Sky and Sujin, asking him to review her video and evaluate it. She pretends that she loves the profession and has reached success through her own efforts. Then, she meets Xia. The commentator Sky is in the training room and asks her to start training, but he gives her more information and she feels nervous and can't comment properly. In the morning, she meets Xia and his brother, who asks her what she's doing at his school. He invites her to eat with him, but she refuses and tells him she doesn't want his pity. Later, the Legends team gathers with Ji, and he shows them new techniques. The coach comes in and asks him to train Shur better because he doesn't believe in his own abilities. Then Shur is sitting in the restaurant and hears a commentary on the match. Ji comes and asks why she's nervous. She tells him the competition starts tomorrow and she's not ready. He asks her to listen to a song to help reduce her stress, and she likes it. She asks if he'll come to the final competition, and he agrees. Later, Milan talks with her assistant, who tells her that a video of her with Ji might affect her number of fans. Then Ji talks with his friend, who asks about the photo of him and Milan. Ji tells him she was his ex-girlfriend, that she traveled and became famous, but decided to return to China and stay there. After that, Milan calls him and says she decided to stay in China and asks to see him. In the morning, Xia's friend goes with Jin and meets Xia, who is in her room preparing for the competition. Then the announcer competition begins. The commentator talks about how the voting is divided between the audience and the commentators. Milan, the singer, is a guest at the competition. The commentator starts asking the contestants questions. Jin answers them all. Xia answers a question correctly and rushes to answer the final question, which she also gets right. Then Xia goes back to her room to prepare for the final round. Milan comes in and sees her nervous, then remembers her own past with Ji, where she asked him to stay and listen to her. Milan snaps out of her memories and sees Ji entering the room, talking to Xia. Xia tells him she won the first round and is waiting for the second. She thanks him for encouraging her. Then Milan's assistant arrives and prevents her from entering to talk to them. In the morning, the final round of the competition begins. Sujin gives commentary on the match, and I like her performance. Then, Xia's brother, whose name is Xiao, tries to gather votes for her. A bit later, Xia gives commentary on a match in front of the judges and audience. Ji is impressed, and the crowd applauds her. She thanks Ji for his encouragement and says he's the best player who uses powerful techniques in the game. The commentator asks about the vote count, and Xia loses by 2 votes, one of which is Sky's. Then Milan casts her vote, and Xia wins the second round. She receives the prize. Later, Xiao tries to pick up Xia's photo from the ground, but a car hits him. After that, Xia talks with Milan and tells her she admires her. Milan gives her a copy of her new album. Then Xiao goes out and meets her friend along with Jin and Ji. They're all happy about her success. At night, they go to a place to celebrate Xia's victory. Milan's assistant talks with her, and she asks if he stopped Ji from seeing her. He tells her that Ji spoke to him and asked him to deliver a message to her, that she should forget the past and continue pursuing her dream. Then Milan calls Ji and asks to see him. Ji excuses himself, saying he has something important to take care of. At the same time, Xia gets a call saying her brother Xiao had an accident and is in the hospital. Ji goes with her, ignoring Milan. Xia runs to the hospital and looks for Xiao. She slaps her aunt across the face. A nurse comes out and says he needs a blood transfusion. Ji reassures Xia, but she cries and says she treated her brother badly. The doctor comes out and says his condition is stable. In the morning, Xiao leaves the hospital with Ji and thanks him for helping her. Then Xiao goes to work and meets Sujin and Sky, who are upset about her being late. Later, she meets Ji again and asks about their past. She gives him a memory of them from when they were kids. At night, Xia visits the hospital again to check on Xiao, who is sitting with their father. In the morning, Xia goes to meet Joey and thanks him for the time she worked with him. A little later, Sky comes to Xia and gives her a notebook with his notes, which makes her happy. Sky remembers his conversation with Ji and tells him the real reason behind Xia's absence from work. It was because of her brother's accident. In the morning, Xia and Joey meet with Jin. Joey asks Xia if she's okay, but she notices that he's looking at her with admiration. She walks away, and Jin tells him that she's Ji's friend, and he shouldn't think of her that way. Then the 3 of them walk together, and at the same time, Ji shows up, and tells Jin to focus more on the match. Jin says Ji is just being jealous. Meanwhile, Xiao is in the hospital talking to his mother. He tells her that his leg broke by accident and not because of Xia. Later, Xiao's mother talks to the doctor, who informs them that Xiao has a fracture in his leg. Xiao asks if he'll ever be able to play basketball again, and the doctor says his condition won't allow it. At night, Xiao sits with her friend, and they have dinner. In the morning, Xia visits Xiao in the hospital, but he asks her to leave, upset about his condition. In the training room, Joey talks with Ji and asks him about Ji's playing techniques so he can build a game plan around them. In the morning, Ji is out running and sees Joey with his girlfriend, Sujin. Later, the manager meets with the Dragon team and praises their training, encouraging them to win the championship. The Dragon team enters a match and wins. A little later, the team gathers with the manager and coach to celebrate the victory. At night, the team goes to a restaurant with the coach and Sky to celebrate the coach's birthday. The manager gives her an expensive gift, but she refuses it. She says, "Let's focus on the match and win the world championship." After that, Ji Gao shows up and tells Ji to stick to the schedules he's been given. In the morning, Xiao goes to meet Xiao, who is being discharged from the hospital. He asks her to focus on her job. Later, Jin goes to meet his friend Xia, but she's busy with work. Then Xiao sits in a restaurant with Ji, and he asks about Xiao. The Legends team gathers, and Joey tries to get information about Ji to help organize the gameplay and win the match. At night, Ji is sitting with Xiao, and she looks at him with admiration. Afterward, Xia goes home and sits with her friend. They're both happy about her recent commentary. She finds tickets to a concert and calls Ji, telling him she has a surprise for him. Later, Ji meets with the coach, who introduces him to Milan, saying she will be working with them and filming commercials with Ji. He agrees. Shortly after, Milan talks to Ji and tells him she regrets the time they spent apart. She wants to make up for it somehow, but Ji tells her that the only thing he wants is for her to be successful. She asks him to wait and gives him a guitar. He remembers the happy times they had together. He sits down and tries to play it, but memories of Xia come back to him. He says he doesn't remember how to play and leaves. In the morning, Milan sits alone playing the guitar and singing. Her assistant talks to her, and she says she's decided to make it up to Ji for the time she left him. He tells her Ji already has a girlfriend. After that, Xia goes to meet her new manager at work, who praises the impact of her commentary. Sky comes in and tells them that Xia gave a great performance and still has talent that will become more visible with training. Later, Ji meets with Jin and searches for a restaurant to meet Xiao. Eventually, he meets her, and she teases him for being late. She tells him she prepared a surprise. When he asks about it, he sees a picture of Milan and realizes she's the surprise. He enters Milan's room, and she pretends not to know Ji. Ji leaves, introduces Xia as his girlfriend, but Xia walks away and leaves him. Ji feels lost and looks for a replacement to forget Milan. He tries to catch up with her, but she runs, gets in a taxi, and cries. Then Ji goes to a restaurant and tries to call her, but her phone is off. Later, Xia is sitting in the office when Sky comes to talk to her and then drives her home. When she arrives, her friend talks to her, but Xia is upset and unable to respond. She sits alone in her room, feeling sad, until she receives a call from Milan asking to meet. In the morning, Xia goes to meet Milan, who tells her about her past relationship with Ji. Milan says she's been following the news, and it's clear that Xia and Ji like each other. She then talks about her memories with Ji, how he always encouraged her to succeed, and how he once promised to stay with her forever. But when her fan base grew, her company prevented her from seeing him. She says she owes her success to him and is back to repay what he did for her and help him succeed. Later, the team arrives, and Ji sees Xia. He tries to talk to her, but she walks away silently. Jin comes over and talks to Ji, asking him if he confessed his love to Xia. Ji admits that he failed to tell her how he feels. Then the Dragon team gathers. Ji assigns roles to the players, but Gao is distracted on his phone, which annoys Ji. Ji reminds them how important tomorrow's match is. After that, Gao goes to meet his girlfriend Sujin and finds her sitting with another guy. He argues with her for being with a stranger, and she asks him to break up. Later, Ji talks to his manager and tells him that Gao isn't focused at all, and it's affecting his training. Meanwhile, Xia talks with Sky and asks about the data collection process. He tells her he'll explain after they eat. A little later, Ji comes and asks to speak with her, but she apologizes, saying she's busy. Then the coach tries to talk to the manager, but he refuses. Later, Gao is found drunk, and the coach tells him the match is the next day. She meets with the manager, who tries to wake Gao up from his drunken state, but she leaves feeling upset. In the morning, Xiao enters the training room and sees a recording of herself commentating on a match. Sky walks in and practices his commentary. A little later, Ji arrives, and Xiao walks away. So Ji picks up her things and tries to talk to her. He thanks her for the gift she gave him and asks if they can talk, but she tells him after the match. Then she goes to the training room but finds her notebook missing. She searches for it but can't find it. Meanwhile, Sky sees Sujin tearing up some papers and throwing them in the trash. The team then gathers with the coach, who tells them to focus on winning. After that, Xiao sits with Sky and begins her commentary on the match between the Legends team and a rival team. Milan comes to attend the match. Xiao continues the commentary with Sky, but she gives incorrect information. He asks her about her notes, and she tells him her notebook is missing. When Ji's team loses the match, the commentator speaks to Milan and asks for her opinion. She says Ji is a strong player, and even if he lost, she believes he'll succeed and achieve his dream, that he was her first love. Xiao hears this and is affected by her words. Ji thanks Milan but feels upset because of Xiao. Then Gao and Ji argue over the loss. Xiao blames Gao, saying he's the reason for the defeat due to his lack of focus. The coach and manager come in trying to resolve the issue, but the coach accuses Gao of causing the loss because he was drinking and meeting his girlfriend before the match. Later, reporters try to question Ji about the reason for the loss, but he doesn't respond and walks away. Shortly after, reporters confront Xiao and ask if she was the reason Ji and Milan broke up. Sky steps in, pulls her away, and tells her not to let people's words affect her. She sits alone, remembering everything that happened. Her friend comes and talks to her, surprised at Milan's courage to let everyone know about her love story with Ji. Xiao is inspired and decides to focus on her work to become a professional commentator. Later, she talks to Milan with her assistant, but learns from him that the company will cancel her new album. After a while, she takes Xiao out of the room and sends a message to Ji asking if he's okay. Her assistant comes, upset with what Milan did, and she tells him that she wants people to know about their love story. After that, Ji goes and knocks on Xiao's door, asking to talk to her, but she doesn't open it. She cries, and then she talks to Ji, who asks if she broke up with Ji, and she says she did. She asks him to rest, because he has a match tomorrow. Afterward, Ji meets with his friend and tells him he has to talk to Milan and resolve the misunderstanding with Xiao. The next morning, Sky meets with the female presenters and tries to upset Xiao with her words, telling her that she's the reason Ji broke up with Milan. Then, Milan talks to her assistant and learns that the number of fans increased after she confessed her love for Ji. Later, Ji meets with the team and divides the roles, organizing the playing techniques to win the match. Afterward, the coach talks to Milan and asks her to speak to Jai, but the coach tells her that he's busy with training and that she can talk to him after the match. Then Xiao talks to Sky, and the assistant gives her notebook, and she finds it torn. Sky remembers when he saw Sogin throwing it in the trash. After a while, Sky goes and asks Sogin to go home. Then he starts sitting with Xiao and commenting on the match, with the Legends team winning. Later, Sogin goes to meet her boyfriend Xiao and asks him to apologize to the manager and focus on his game. Xiao runs to check on Ji and asks if he's fine, and he says he is. She asks him not to talk to her again, and he tells her he loves her, but she leaves him and walks away. She is crying after telling him their relationship is going to end. That night, Sky sits and remembers Xia while she is crying, and he goes to check on her. After that, the manager meets with the team and arranges their roles. Then, the Legends team enters the hotel and meets the opposing team called The Power. The captain of the opposing team tries to provoke Ji, and Ji hits him. However, the hit lands on Joy because he was trying to stop Ji from fighting. Later, the Dragon team meets with their coach. The manager enters and listens to a voice recording of Ji talking about the techniques he plans to use in the match. Then, the investigator comes in and asks Xia to join her for a meeting to discuss the leak of Ji's video online. After a while, Sujin enters and talks to Sky, suggesting she should stay as the match commentator instead of Xia. Then Sky sees Xia with the investigator, but tells her that Xia is not the cause. Xia asks Ji to focus on the game. Later, in a meeting with the investigator, Xia talks about what happened and how she overheard someone saying Ji fainted. Then the Dragon team begins to play against the Power team and loses, with Ji not participating in the match because of the video leak. Milan sees the news and notices that Ji is not in the match. She asks her assistant to prepare the car so she can go support Ji and check on him. After a while, Ji comes out and meets the journalists, who ask about the video and his relationship with Milan. He says they are just friends. Then Xia goes to meet Ji, and the journalists accuse her of being the reason for Ji's breakup with Milan. She tells them she loves Ji. Later, Xia's friend takes her to the car and they go searching for Ji. Xia asks the coach where he is, and then she goes to the restaurant and finds him sitting there. She tells him she loves him. The next morning, Ji goes to meet the manager and submits his resignation. Later, the Dragon Team player named Xiao remembers when he was recording Ji's words during the meeting. After that, Ji walks with Xia, and they sit together at a restaurant. Xia asks about the surprise she had mentioned earlier, and after a while, Ji gives her a cake with a heart drawn on it and tells her that he loves her. Then Milan records a video and talks about her breakup with Ji, dedicating a song to him. The next morning, Sky talks to his manager about Xia, and they discuss her leaving the job. Sky respects her decision because he values Xiao's hard work. At the same time, Xia overhears their conversation. Later, Joy sits with Ji and asks him about which team he plans to join. He thinks no team will accept him, but Joy offers to form a new team with him because he admires his playing and techniques. Afterward, Ji rides his motorcycle and remembers Joy's words and his dream of winning the world championship. Then, Ji arrives with Xiao, and they meet with her friend. They sit down to eat together, and her friend invites Ji to join the Legends team. After a while, Joy talks to his friend, and they discuss leaving the Legends team. That night, Ji walks with Xia and tells her about his decision to create a new team which he wants to call the Union Power. He is happy that Xia will always be by his side. Later, Xiao goes to her workplace and reflects on the moments she spent there, as well as her comments about the match. Sky enters and learns from her that she has decided to resign. The next morning, she is with Ji, and she picks out new clothes and designs a logo for the new team. Later, Ji is at the restaurant and Xiao talks to him, suggesting that he start building his team. Then, Ji meets his friend. Ronin, who has been retired for 5 years, asks Ji to join his team and tries to convince him. However, Ji declines the offer and leaves. The next morning, Joy thinks about talking to his friends and informing them about his decision to leave, and they find out that he will quit. Later, he meets with them and they thank him for the time he spent with them. After a while, Joy meets Ji and Xiao and they learn from him that he has submitted his resignation from the team. Joy is excited about the new team and asks Ji to join him. The next morning, Xia and Ji ask about the reason Ji refused to join Joy's team. He tells them that Joy is a strong player but prefers to stay in the Legends team. Then, Ronin sits and recalls Ji's offer. He later meets with the coach and learns that Ji will be traveling to Singapore. Afterward, Ronin meets with the coach again, and she tells him that she liked him from the first day he joined the team. She then takes him to the old place where they used to sit with the team, and they watch a match he played in. He gets emotional and cries. Ronin eventually marries Joy, and Ji offers him the new team logo, which Ronin accepts. They celebrate together, and Jin arrives, disappointed that Ji didn't ask him to join the new team. Later, Xiao talks to Sky, and he tells her that the investigation into the video leak is still ongoing. Then Ronin talks to the coach and asks her if she still loves him. She tells him she has missed him since he left the team. The next morning, Ji and Xiao clean the place, and Ji thanks Ronin for helping him get back into the game and his favorite position. Later, Huang sits in the room, feeling upset because he won't be able to play basketball anymore due to his leg injury. After a while, they all gather together, and Ronin tries to choose players for the team. Then, Xiao gets a call from her father, who asks to meet with her. They talk about her brother Huang's situation and how he is becoming more irritable since he can't play anymore. Later, Xia goes home and recalls the time her father kicked her out. He opens the door for her, and she talks to Huang, trying to cheer him up. She tells him that she will take him on her team. Afterward, Xia talks to Ji and says that she needs her brother Huang to join their team. Then, Joy enters and finds Ronin training. He sits down to play with him, and after a while, Ji, the coach of the Legends team, comes and praises him for gathering the team in such a short time. Ji offers Jin a contract to join his team, and Jin agrees. Afterward, Jin moves his belongings to their new place. The next morning, Xiao sits with Huang, and they look at pictures of them together from when they were younger. After a while, Xiao's father comes, and Xiao has to leave. Xiao then goes with Huang to introduce him to the team. Later, Joy asks Huang to train with him and play together. The next morning, Huang sits at the club, watching the young players practice. He is upset, but Xiao comes and gives him ice cream, trying to ease his tension and remind him that the team needs him. After a while, Huang sits down and looks at pictures of him playing basketball. He feels sad, but then he finds messages from Joy, who encourages him to join the team. Afterward, Xia prepares food for Ji and Jin. Huang gets angry, accusing Ji of leaking a video of him online, but Joy explains that he was the one who posted it to show people that Huang isn't disabled and that he can play on the team, encouraging him to be brave. Huang gets upset and leaves. Joy tries to apologize for posting the video and convinces him to join the team. Later, Huang sits in his room and watches a video from his friends encouraging him to join the team. He smiles and feels more motivated. The next day, Huang tells his parents that he is ready to return to school and they are happy with his decision. After a while, Huang goes to the new team location. Xia is happy to see him again, and they start getting ready for their match. The commentator welcomes the audience and the new team, the Union Power. The match begins between the Dragon team and the Union team. The Union team wins the first round. Later, Xia watches the match with Sujin and comments on the game, feeling upset. Sky comes over and asks to talk to her, saying that he's trying to get to the bottom of the video leak involving Ji. After a while, they sit at the training place looking at the gifts. At the same time, Huang's parents arrive and his mother yells at him for not being in school. He hadn't told them about the new game he joined. His mother asks Xiao to stay away from him and tries to take him home, but Huang refuses and insists on staying with Xiao and the team. The next morning, Xiao prepares food for Huang, and he apologizes for what happened with his mother. Xiao tells him that his mother acts this way because she loves him and worries about him. His father arrives and tells him that he convinced his mother to let him play with the team. Huang is happy after hearing the news. Later, Ji sits with Xiao, and she is happy to see him share every moment with the team. The next day, the team gathers, and Ji tries to train them on new techniques. At night, Xia meets with Ji and expresses her worry about Huang, since he will be playing as a central player in the team. Ji reassures her, saying that he trusts him. The match begins between the Dragon team and the Union team. The Dragon team wins the first round. Later, the Union team gathers, and Ji is upset as he sees negative comments online. He blames himself for the team's loss. That night, Xia talks to Ji, and he tells her that he's afraid of losing in the second round. Later, Xiao goes to the hospital with Huang to ask the doctor about his condition. The doctor says that Huang is under psychological pressure, which is affecting his recovery speed. Meanwhile, Ji, Jin, and Ronin sit waiting for Joy to arrive, and they discuss their situation. After a while, Joy meets with Huang and asks him to return to play, not to let anything affect him. He takes Huang's walking stick and tells him not to use it anymore. Huang falls to the ground, and then Ji and Xia argue with him. Huang gets up, still without the stick. Later, they head back to the team, and Huang takes advantage of the fact that he's walking well now. At the same time, Joy and the coach arrive to teach the team new techniques for playing and winning the match. Afterward, Ji meets the famous player named Leon. Xia says that Ji won the world championship, and Ji thanks Leon, saying that he will learn a lot from him. They keep training and win several times, preparing to play in the world championship. Ji thanks Leon for his efforts during the training. The next morning, the Dragon team trains, but some players struggle and seem distracted, making Ji upset. He starts hitting Shur, telling his friend that he will report him because Shur is the one who leaked Ji's video. Later, Ji sits with Shar and tells him that he saw him recording Ji's speech during the meeting and posting it online. The next morning, Shur goes with his friend to meet Sky. Sky asks to talk to him about Ji's video leak, and then Sky talks to Xiao, telling her that the person who leaked the video will be prosecuted. He also asks her to return to work, but she refuses because she is busy with the team. The next day, the team gets out of the car, and the fans request to replace Huang with another player. After a while, Sky welcomes the audience and both teams, and the match begins between the Dragon team and the Union team. The winner will advance to the finals of the World Championship. In the end, the Union team wins and they celebrate their victory. Later, they sit at the training place and celebrate. Huang says that his dream was to win a basketball championship, but now his dream has changed to winning the World Championship. Then Xiao walks with Ji, feeling happy about the victory. She tells him that she will always stay by his side, and Ji asks her to continue working and pursue her own dream. Suddenly, Ji gets a call saying that Milan had an accident and was taken to the hospital. Ji and Xiao quickly go to the hospital to check on her. The doctor tells them that Milan will be fine. Afterward, Ji goes to a meeting regarding the video leak, and the next morning, Ji visits Milan, bringing her flowers. She tells him that she won't be able to sing anymore, and then, like before at night, Xiao sits alone and tries to call Ji, but he doesn't answer. Ji is sitting with Milan in the hospital and she asks him to stay with her. Later, Huang talks to Xiao and finds out that she asked Ji to take care of Milan. The next morning, Ji walks with Milan and sits with her in the room while she sings. Then, Xiao talks to Sky, who tells her that he discovered who leaked the video and asks her to think about returning to work to comment on the World Championship match. She tells him that she will think about it. After a while, Sky gets out of the car and Sujin talks to him. She apologizes for everything she did and asks him to help her return to work, but he refuses. Later, Ji talks to Milan's assistant about her condition, saying that she is losing everything. After a while, Milan is alone in the room, and she receives a call. But as she tries to reach the phone, everything falls around her. She cries because she feels helpless and can't see. She tries to call for help. Ji enters, finds her on the floor, and helps her. She asks him to leave and leave her alone. Xiao sees them together and walks away. Later, she enters her room, remembers Milan's words to Ji, and cries. Her friend calls to check on her and tells her that Sky asked her to return to work to comment on the World Championship match. After a while, Ji talks to Jin and finds out that Gao is the one who leaked the video. Xiao leaves a message for everyone, and when they search for her, they can't find her in her room. She gathers her things in a bag to continue her work as a commentator. The next morning, Xiao meets Sky, and they look at the place where the match will take place. Then, Milan listens to the match commentary, and her assistant tries to stop her. But he discovers that she is not blind. She asks him not to tell anyone about her secret. Later, Ji goes to talk to the doctor, and the doctor tells him that Milan won't be able to see, which is due to her psychological state. Ji goes in to talk to her, and she thanks him for his care. The next morning, Milan's assistant talks to her, telling her that it's wrong to lie to Ji and that he doesn't love her. He's just sympathizing with her. Later, Jin sits with his friend in a restaurant to eat. Then he confesses his love to her, and she turns him down and walks away. The next morning, he tries to contact her, but she doesn't respond. He goes to her workplace and asks her why she's avoiding him. He tells her that he's going to travel for the championship match. Later, Xiao sits with Sky at the restaurant, then leaves and finds Ji calling her, asking if she's okay. She asks him to focus on the match. After a while, Sky welcomes the audience and introduces the Legends team and the Union team. The match between the Legends team and the Union team starts, and the Union team wins. Later, they play against the Black Horse team, and the Union team loses to the Black Horse team. Afterward, Milan asks her assistant for help to watch the match, but he refuses. Later, Gao sits with Sujin and expresses regret over everything he's done. At night, Xiao has dinner with Sky to celebrate his birthday and gives him a gift, but he gives her a better gift, a pendant. Then the team meets, and they are very frustrated with their loss. The audience gathers at the stadium, and the commentator welcomes them, introducing Xiao as the commentator for the match. The Black Horse team, who won the championship last year, and the Union team are introduced. The final match begins, and the Union team wins the first round. Then the Union team gathers, and Ji tries to train them on new techniques. The second round starts, and the Black Horse team ties with the Union team, leading to a decisive match. Then, Ji meets Milan, who says that she's here to watch him. Xiao sees them hugging and gets upset. Ji tries to talk to her and gathers the Union team, reflecting on each of their dreams of winning the championship. The decisive round starts, but Ji feels hopeless and remembers his times with Xiao. He decides to keep going to achieve his dream. He pushes forward in the game, and the Union team wins the championship. They celebrate the result, and Ji accepts the World Championship trophy in China. And that's the end of our series. Goodbye.